So when it comes to manufactured homes, you've got single wides, double wides, and modulars. Let's check out the differences and how a normal person that's not in the business can see which is which.
All right, I've got two properties today that I'm going to try my best to give, kind of a new buyer an example of what the differences are between manufactured and modular. And we're going to kind of go over, kind of how to spot a modular. That's kind of the main thing. I've seen properties over the last 20 years in business listed as stick built and it be a modular, and maybe the realtor didn't even know, that it was a modular. So I'm going to go over just a few things that should help most people find out what they're looking at. All right, let's take a look. All right, the first thing, looking at an outside of a modular, there's really not a lot on this particular one that's any different than a stick built. A lot different than a manufactured, a double wide, but small things. Modular sometimes will have these cased out plugs. You can kind of start telling once you look at 100 of them. I would say the biggest thing is probably this crawl space door. This kind of gives it away, I would say 99% of the time for me in my area in North Carolina. And this is just having a metal, I know it sounds simple, but a metal crawl space door. Sometimes they're metal framed out. This one's got a little bit of metal right here on the frame. But, if this was a stick built, this would probably be a wood hinged crawl space door. And you get into crawl space, everything's pretty much the same. You've got your ABS plumbing, you've got your reducing valve there coming in, you got PEX, you got a couple of brick columns. All that's fine and all that's the same. Then you look up, and this is another kind of tell sign. If they've got this, sometimes there's net. I thought that this one was going to have a net. Sometimes there's net, but you got to remember this thing comes down the road in pieces. And you can see a little bit of lumber right there. But if they've got covering on the insulation, just kind of let your mind, figure out that, all right, so that means it was probably moved here, okay? So if you've got open insulation and floor joists, you've got 2x10s, 2x12s, whatever, then you may be looking at a stick built. But this is actually a modular. Just from the crawl space here, I can kind of tell you without even looking at anything else. So let's go on the inside and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so you've got your normal, slick ceilings, smoke detectors, crown molding, baseboard molding. Nothing really tells me anything, okay? You get into these little, it's not going to be every single case, but you've got this plastic, access. If it's stick built and you've got somebody that's actually putting the sheetrock up here on site, they're probably not going to use an access panel, okay? Then you go over and let's look at kitchen. Nothing in the kitchen really tells you anything. Sometimes you can check. This one probably don't have the sticker in the cabinet, but it does actually. So this sticker, okay, right there, is not going to be in every single modular. Trust me, they're going to be painted over, they're going to be taken down, taken out of the cabinets. Another place that you can find, this is an actual, the blue, you're looking for this blue modular sticker. Modular structure has been inspected, blah, 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 got a number on it. Okay, that sticker sometimes is in different places. Kind of the first place that I check. This one actually does not have a modular sticker. So we're going to keep looking for another sticker. We know that it's a modular. Here's another panel, access panel. I'm guessing for water heater access. All this stuff is normal, stick built, modular, manufactured. That is a tank alarm for the septic. And usually you don't have a vent
you know, to vent the laundry in a stick built. Usually, I'm not saying every time. I'm not gonna have somebody say, "Oh yeah, you do every time." No, you don't. So you go to the master closet, and here is yet another modular tag. Okay. So a lot of times, like I said, you know, if I paint over this or take this off, then the next person does not see this tag at all, and there is no tag. So, you know, that's really the best way to tell if it's a modular. I'm telling you the kind of the smart, you know, the odd men things like these doors and stuff, but really, you know, there's really nothing else. You know, you've got another panel here that's very odd that you're not going to have in a stick built most of the time. This is always accessing valves and showers. So in other words, when this is built, this is all built in a huge warehouse. So they put this access panel in, and then the whole structure is moved over here. Sometimes the main thing that I look at isn't just in the crawl space. If it's got a frame, a lot of people disagree, but just for financing, if it's got a frame, they're going to consider it a double wide, even though it might have a modular tag. You'll have to argue with your lender on that. But so if it's got a blue tag, it is a modular. If it's got a blue tag and a frame, you might have an issue with financing, you know, with conventional lending or whatever. So keep that in mind. That's one. We're going to go to a manufacturer next, and I will show you the kind of the quick ways to know that it's a manufactured house, you know, double wide. All right, we had another property. Of course, everybody kind of gets used to seeing these on the outside. Peak in the middle, you know, kind of a rectangle deal, and this one is a double wide manufactured. So let's see what the differences is, and how can somebody that's, you know, newly looking to purchase property, how can they tell? You know, if they're not in the business, they're not a realtor. Let's see how, you know, show them a couple things of how they can tell if this is a double wide or a modular. All right, before I go inside, I'll show you the outside. This is kind of similar to the blue modular tag. This should have been red at some point. You know, a lot of them are bleached out, but this does say manufacturer certifies to, and it's got a serial similar to the modular as well. You've got a bricked in foundation, no real difference there. Sometimes you can kind of tell on power meters and stuff, mainly breaker boxes. But this one, all wrapped around here, you've got, this could be on modulars too, but you've got small labels, you know, fresh water, label there, another. You'll notice too, just like the modulars, the manufactured usually has a couple of data plates. So we're going to see how the crawl space looks. Let's see if we can see a frame on this one. Now, just got done saying if you've seen a wood crawl space door, then it might be stick built, but this one has definitely been added. I'd bet $100 this used to be a metal door. And what do we have? We have a metal frame, if I can get it to focus. So once you see this metal frame, financing banks are going to consider this a double wide. You've got the same covering on the insulation, and you got similar brick. But this right here, this metal frame, is what I want everybody to kind of know what they're looking for, okay? All right, let's go on the inside. All right, as we get in, you can kind of, I don't know if you can tell in this video or not, but you've got paneled ceilings. So you've got a seam, which you'll be able to figure out that that is not
just a piece of sheetrock and they, you know, mudded the seam. This is an actual piece of plastic seam that they've got. And sometimes the walls are like that as well. This one is not. So, you know, mobile home windows, you know, as far as an actual double wide, I can tell it's very hard to, you know, describe to somebody, you know, what the differences are. This one's got more of a storm window, and then a regular single, looks like a single pane window. So a little differences there. Sometimes you'll have a tag in the closets. This one's been heavily painted, so I doubt we'll see the same thing. I'm not even going to look in this cabinet because obviously the cabinets have been changed, and unless they were just really looking for, you know, to help out the next person, they would have put the same label in, but they did not. Similar laundry area. Still got a tank, this one as well, septic tank alarm. And let's see on breaker box if I've got anything at all. This is more of, you know, about the breaker box. Really not anything in here as far as a label. Again, panel for the water heater, I'm assuming. They've went in and somebody's trying to flip this one, you know, new cabinets, granite tops, all that's obviously not usually original to a manufactured double wide. They did not leave, you know, the label in this one. So, you know, this is a prime example of why you've kind of got to tell how to find this stuff. And I'll go over on the computer as well. You can figure out sometimes what the county has, but this is the master and there is no label. Nothing in the bathroom. It's all been repainted, redone. So, but you can kind of tell, you know, everybody should, if they start looking at a few houses, a few manufacturers, you can kind of tell these windows are a little bit different than most. This one's been redone, so I can't tell you about the, you know, the doors being a Luan, not 6-panel. This one is a 6-panel. This is more of the factory door that they come with, more about just a slick, very thin. See how thin that is? Very thin door. That's not the same thickness as a regular house, you know, stick-built house door. So really nothing on the inside because this one has been redone. You can figure it out on the tax card as well. If you look up the tax card from the GIS, it will say usually manufactured or modular also in there. But I'm just trying to show the average new buyer of what to look for to figure out if you're looking at a modular or a manufactured. Another big thing is usually they have a seam in the middle. You got to think this was side A and side B, and they put them together right here in the middle. So a lot of times it's got a, usually that piece right there is the same ceiling on both sides, and you got a piece of molding in the middle. It's usually what you've got on a double wide. So anyway, hope that helps somebody, and let us know at Helper Realty if we can help you at all whatsoever in your home search. Y'all have a great day.